evening, guys. Belfast Boxing and Blues. Welcome. Yeah, we are here to discuss the editorial. We are here to discuss Francis Ngannou's legitimacy as a heavyweight contender and whether or not these crossover fights have any place in boxing. Because there's a lot of sort of people that really take umbrage at this sort of thing, and I mean it's been going on for years, hasn't it? These crossover fights, but I don't think it's been, they've been exhibitions and things like this, and sort of little party pieces. But of course, the game has changed, and and Ngannou's got himself a ranking in the WBC somehow, and there's a lot of talking points with the fight. But you know what it is? It's like, I think some people are calling into question whether or not this is beneficial to boxing. That you've got this guy coming in, this UFC guy, and suddenly we're going to put him in against the top boxers, and that some people that don't really have a clue about boxing, are going to look at this and they're going to say, oh well, this is boxing right here. Yeah, this is a real fight. This is the real stuff. But that's kind of what we want, isn't it? That's kind of the point. I mean, boxing is a business, and the UFC, I mean, in recent years has just sort of gone from strength to strength, and it has far more casual fans. Casual fans get into UFC so much easier. It's almost like a midway point between, wrestling, sports entertainment, and boxing. It's much more accessible. People get into it so much more. So boxing's almost become something fuddy-duddy in a way. This is the old man's sport over here, and there's only really people that box or people that have got interested in it for one reason or another. Unless it's the big fights, unless it's the big marquee names, unless it's the big events, and here we have a big event. And what I've noticed is the lighting isn't very good here, and I obviously watch a lot of YouTube content, boxing shows and stuff, and all the usual suspects and all the usual culprits, and these guys have nice studios, and even the DIY guys, bother to tidy their house or at least straighten up the camera. But that's not how we do things here in Belfast. It's we're just a different breed. So yeah, look, I think the fight's a good idea, and I think some people are looking at it and they're saying, well, this is there's nothing in it. Every day of the week, Anthony Joshua should beat Ngannou, because he's a professional boxer, because Ngannou is 0-1. That's his record, albeit against the lineal heavyweight champion, who he knocked down in the third round, I think it was, with a glancing sort of blow. It's a good shot, don't get me wrong. Don't know if Fury was off balance, or maybe he just hadn't settled into the fight. Maybe it was just a great punch. It's hard to know, isn't it? But they say that Joshua really doesn't have a chance because they say that Ngannou doesn't really have a chance because Joshua's a great boxer, and he's a great heavyweight. And he's come on in years. He's working along with Ben Davidson now, and you got Lee Wiley in there as well. He's very well regarded, with good reason, I do believe. Um, so he's going to be well prepared, and there seems to something's clicked as well since he's joined Ben Davidson. Where now all of a sudden his head seems to be in the right place. Now, for the people that say, "Oh, you know, Joshua's going to storm this," there's no way that he can possibly lose. He's the better boxer. He's the better athlete. He's better conditioned. He can do all of this. Um, it wasn't that long ago that we were all calling Joshua's ability to perform into question. Yeah, this was a serious concern not so long ago. Um, that seems to have been put to bed, and everybody's happy enough. He done what he done against Wallen, Hellenius. Yeah, that was all right. Who was it? The guy before Chisora struggled against him. That guy seems to have vanished off the face of the earth. But yeah, it wasn't that long ago, you know, after the Usyk rematch, where he'd lost his mind a little bit, and even before that, obviously the Ruiz thing. We don't need to go down that road. We all know what that is. He's in a much better place now, and we all really want to believe that. But what's really going on beneath the surface there? So there's that. If you bring that into the equation, and Ngannou's a very mentally strong guy. And if indeed you can look at his performance against Tyson Fury and say, look, well, the guy's fighting in a combat sport. He knows how to fight hand to hand. You know what I mean? This might not be his chosen discipline, but he's been doing all these other things for a lot of years. So, he's pretty handy. Yeah, if you start to calculate it like that, then you could very well see how Ngannou could beat him. But something tells me with the kind of event it is, it's like I don't think Joshua's going into this with any overdue sort of concern in his own mind, or any great worries or anything, because he knows that if he prepares to the best of his ability and just goes in there and beats himself, he'll get the job done. I think he's quite quietly confident in that regard. I mean, he seems to have learned from what mistakes that he's made in the past, and in terms of his preparation and his attitude and things like that. And maybe he had to have all of those things that happened led to where he is today. And let's not forget all of the technical things that he's picked up since. He's become a much better boxer, a much more complete fighter. And it'll be good to see those things in action against somebody who is not a trained sort of boxer. You know what I mean? It'll be good to see. If this could be a real nice showcase for Joshua to really show what he can do as a boxer. And I think this could be a good look for Anthony Joshua. It's a great event, makes a lot of money, brings a lot of eyes to the sport. Hopefully gets some of those MMA casuals looking over our way, and saying, well, I might check out this boxing. I've only to go in and slag him off for a while. And, likewise, and sure, what's wrong with that? It's better for everybody involved, really. And I mean, there is the question too that it sort of brings the sport into disrepute. Whether this is supposed to be heavyweight boxing. Why you're bringing in this guy and you're trying to sell it as the top thing? Well, I think, like I say, from the outside, it might look like that to the average punter, but I mean, we know what it is, and it's okay. It's all right, man. It's all right. I mean, like I say, it's a great marketing ploy, you know, um, to not sugarcoat it at all, is what it is, and I think it's a genuinely good thing for the sport. This fight, I do. But as to who wins and how they win, well, that's something else altogether. And I see it going the distance. I see it going the full 10 rounds, and I see Joshua outpointing him rather handily. 7 rounds to three, maybe 6-4. Uh, could get tight. I mean, like the sort of upshot, I suppose, if it did come out another kind of like dubious sort of decision, where it's a close fight, a split decision or something like that, is that then again, all of these casuals that are watching say, well, holy shit, this Ngannou guy nearly done it again. The MMA guys are getting more and more infested, and yeah, so I mean, I think it's a good thing as long as we all bear in mind, us hardcore boxing fans, we are so proud of our status and our dedication to being such learned men of integrity and honour and nobility. That the real deal is coming up whenever Tyson Fury heals up, and hopefully we'll see that fight, and I suppose in the harshest terms, you could say that this whole bringing in Ngannou in and how it's sold and stuff is a farce. I don't think it is. You just gotta take it for what it is, Like, it's easy for the soft-spoken Irishman, cap in hand, to come along and rationalise it all this, but some of us are a bit more fiery in our temperament, and we want to get riled up, and we want to look at it this way and that way, and that's all. That's all part of the game. There's no wee cap. I don't keep it in my hand, but it's close by to me. So, and I'm on the mango tonight, trying to, just keep things together. So yeah, there you go. Like, it's not really a whole lot of statistical information with this video. It more just some of my thoughts on the fight and the sort of talks surrounding it. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and we got some good stuff coming up this weekend with Patrick McCrory. I've heard him called Padraig, Porg, Prague McCrory. It's ridiculous. Probably these Hungarians and Romanians whose names we mispronounce every other week will be laughing it up themselves too. So that's all good, isn't it? But yeah, there you are. One last thing. I was watching some Belfast-based content earlier from established sort of YouTubers, and there's a couple of good shows and stuff. And I was thinking to myself, well, I've named my humble little channel Belfast Boxing and Blues, and maybe some of these guys might think that's a bit presumptuous. It's like, who do you think you are yeah? But I don't know. Like I say, there's some good podcasts and the like coming out of Belfast. There's some funny stuff, like, it's. I think it must be hard for the rest of the world to to understand what they're saying. But that's just the way I talk. So it is. You know what I mean? Belfast Boxing and Place, folks. If you want to comment below, or whatever, just let me know who you think wins that fight, and why it's a disgrace, and why it's the best idea ever in the world. Peace and love. Good night.